1-844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show if you'd like to join us here. This day, every weekday, this hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Simply Safe. Home security should ease your mind, not make you wonder whether you're getting ripped off. Go to simplysafehowie.com now to get free shipping on your order and a free keychain remote worth $25. Simplysafehowie.com. So the Clinton forces are engaging in violence and vandalism in various locations over the weekend. The firebombing of a Trump headquarters in North Carolina, the vandalizing of Trump supporters' cars after a Trump rally in Bangor, Maine, and of course last week we know that they were WikiLeaks emails released showing the extreme anti-Catholic, anti-evangelical bigotry of the Hillary campaign. And over the weekend, Tim Kaine, who's allegedly a devout Catholic, he's the running mate of Hillary Clinton, the senator from Virginia, the former governor. He wears his Catholicism on his sleeve, you might say, unless of course, but he's for Roe v. Wade, and he says the Catholic Church is against the death penalty, which not really, but he says it doesn't bother him because he signs death warrants when he was governor. But so he's trying to spin the rabid anti-Catholic bigotry of the Clinton campaign as shown in these emails. So let's listen to his sound cut on one of the talk shows this weekend. This is a Democrat candidate for vice president, Tim Kaine.
I want to get to another email that shows Campaign Communications Director Jennifer Palmieri talking about Catholicism with a Democratic strategist who denounces what he calls the religion's severely backwards gender relations. She responds that some conservatives are only Catholic because they think it is the most socially acceptable political conservative religion. Many took offense to the perceived mockery of Catholicism. You're Catholic. Should the campaign apologize for these messages?
Well, Martha, let me first say this, and this is a really important thing. I don't give credence to any of these dumped documents because I don't even know if they're accurate, and they are part of an effort by the Russians
he's a liar
and WikiLeaks.
on top of everything
I just want to
else.
say the writer of this email said he sent this email.
Yeah, but this is an important topic that everybody needs to know about these emails.
He won't even denounce it. He's supposedly this devout Catholic, and he has no problems with being described as severely backwards. He has no problems. His only religion is the religion of I'm out for me. That's the religion. I'm looking out for number one. That's all he cares about. So let's have the other one. Cut 6.
Apology?
We all have opinions, and I don't think you need to apologize for your opinions. But in fact, that's a great thing about our country and even about being Catholic. We have plenty of opinions. So you don't need to apologize for an opinion.
But isn't the left all about making people apologize for their opinions, whether it's the Confederate flag or black on black crime?
Right, or the tone of the undercurrent of violence at the Trump rallies. That apparently, according to the Boston Globe and the New York Times and all these media outlets, the undertone of Trump's rhetoric is worse than the actual firebombing of Trump headquarters, or the actual vandalism, or the beatdowns that have occurred at the Trump rallies in places as separated as Chicago and San Jose, California. But it's okay. Imagine if a Trump person had described the severely backward gender relations of the Muslim faith. Do you think Kaine would be just saying, it's just nothing. It's just nothing. But again, if it weren't for double standards, these people would have no standards whatsoever. Mike, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
Hey, don't you think it's about time that Hillary Clinton just resigned from the election? She'll just save herself the embarrassment from losing to Donald Trump.
I don't think she sees it that way, Mike. I mean, the polls are a lot closer than I'm sure she would anticipate that they would have been after her lickspittles in the mainstream media have been going after him all these weeks. But she still thinks she's going to win. That's why she's relaxing. She's getting ready for the big debate in Vegas on Wednesday night. Thanks for the call, Mike. Bill, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Bill, on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Howie, thank you for your show, man.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, I was curious. Who would you consider for Secretary of State for Trump? I know we pretty much are looking at Giuliani as the new AG, and it's touted up here in Alaska that our old governor, she's being touted for the new AG, or not the new AG, but the Interior Secretary. Can you
I don't know. I
don't
know. I hadn't heard about this. I'm worried about the election, Bill. Let's get through the election first before we start picking the people in the cabinet. As long as he's in there, and the first thing, I'm not even that concerned about who's in the cabinet. I just want to make sure we don't get another Elena Kagan or another Sonia Sotomayor or Stephen Breyer or Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the U.S. Supreme Court. I think that's a lot more important. I don't think I actually, though, you're calling from Alaska. I don't think it's going to be Sarah Palin as the Interior Secretary. I mean, you know, Sarah's a good person and all that, and but she.
Hey, that's Governor Palin to you, okay?
Sarah, I'll call her Sarah. That's I don't think I don't see a role for her, and I know she went out to Iowa and campaigned for Donald Trump, right before the caucuses when he needed some support, and it was valuable, I'm sure, but I just don't see her being in the mix. But let's get through the election before we start thinking about the cabinet. Thanks for the call, Bill. Do you think I would think Obama would want to have a press conference today with Loretta Lynch and announce that they're sending in the FBI to squadrons of FBI agents down to Orange County, North Carolina, to find out who firebombed this building and tried to kill people, maybe kill people, certainly tried to interfere with people's exercise of their First Amendment rights to free speech.
Well, this was also voter suppression, right?
You're right. It's voter suppression. Yeah, this is I mean, these are this is the administration that found no problems with the new Black Panther Party roaming around outside polling places, precincts in Philadelphia with baseball bats and threatening white people. They refuse to prosecute them. So I guess this is just another thing they're going to refuse to prosecute here. These brown-shirted, jackbooted Clinton Democrat thugs committing arson.
Well, you did see that Clinton tweeted out her thoughts and prayers.
Yes, her prayer. She's a devout Methodist, you know.
You know how we
just
see,
like Kane is a devout Catholic, she's a devout Methodist.
You know how we see in the WikiLeaks emails how many emails back and forth with all of their staffers it takes just to come to consensus on one tweet? What do you think the chain looked like for that tweet? Like, should we send thoughts and prayers? Or is prayers too much? Should we even say anything?
Yeah, prayers. I mean, prayers is a very controversial word, unless you're talking. If it had been, what would they be doing if this had been a Muslim mosque that had been firebombed? Do you think Obama would have made a statement in front of the TV cameras by now? Do you think there would be a SWAT team coming down from the Justice Department and from the FBI to investigate the arson of the headquarters? I dare say there would be, yes. Sandy, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Sandy.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
How come Tim Kaine's not for abortion because he's Catholic, but yet when he's going into the White House, he's going to be for abortion?
Right. Well, I think what he always says is, well, personally, I don't believe in abortion, but I believe that every state should decide. But Roe v. Wade means every state didn't decide. The Supreme Court decided. Well, I believe that Roe v. Wade should not be overturned. From a religious standpoint, his statements make no sense logically, Sandy. You're either for Roe v. Wade or you're a Roman Catholic. That's the way it works out. Period. Thanks for the call, Sandy. Steve, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, how are you, Howie? I was
Good.
going to bring up that. I didn't know you talked about it, that AP story about the FBI agent and the high-ranking Clinton aide at the State Department, which normally would be a above-the-fold New York Times investigative journal piece, because what you would have done is found the FBI agent, you would have found the State Department aide, and you would have tried to get them on the record like we used to do in journalism,
Steve,
but we don't have that
Steve,
anymore.
did you see
That
there's one mention of the FBI agent. He has since retired. Like that somehow means he's moved to Mars. You know, and he's unavailable for comment. So they didn't even look for him. They just took the word. They just took the word.
The better quote was when he found out it was about Benghazi, and he said, "Oh no, I can't do anything for you." Did you see that quote? That was great. From the emails back and forth. The other story, it was on MSN, was about the Republicans should. It was in the Post, the Washington Post. The Republicans should be okay. They can take heart because it looks like they're going to hold the Congress and the Senate and the House. So now, normally I would look at this and I'd say, wow, a bit of good news, but how does this make any sense, Howie? So these Republicans who apparently are so dejected about Trump are showing up to the polls in enough numbers so that we're going to keep the House and going to keep the Senate, and they're going to, blank the top of the ticket or vote for Clinton? The whole story didn't make any sense to me, but it does look like that's what's going to happen. So all of these poll numbers, all of these stories, the fire bombings, the obsession about Trump, none of it fits with an 11-point lead and a campaign cruising to the finish.
Right.
And, I see that story, and does it make any sense to you that we can keep the House and Senate, and somehow these Republicans are going to split the ticket and vote for everybody down ballot?
Steve, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm either going to vote for Hillary.
Yeah, that's why I'm not paying too much attention to these polls, Steve, because, again, would they be firebombing Trump headquarters if they really thought they had it in? I mean, this is what more voter suppression could it be other than a drive-by shooting? This is number 2 on the list in terms of voter suppression, firebombing headquarters, and yet we're supposed to think that the campaign is over and that they don't care and that they think they've got it in the bag. I agree with you. There was a little piece in the Wall Street Journal today about exactly what Steve was discussing, which is that they had some political scientist who specializes in congressional races, and he said the Republicans look like they're in. Here's the deal. According to this story in the Wall Street Journal, the Democrats need to take 30 seats to get control of the House of Representatives. 30 seats, okay? In reality, because of the gerrymandering, which again was imposed basically by Democrats to make sure that they got a lot of blacks elected, and now they're pissed about this. That it's the law of unintended consequences. But there's only so many seats that are competitive anymore. There's 37 seats that are competitive in this cycle. 37 out of 435. The Dems have to take 30 of them. Well, here's the kicker. Of the 37 competitive seats, 6 are already held by Democrats. So in other words, the Democrats have to take 100% of the contested seats to take over the House. Not going to happen in all likelihood. Not going to happen. I don't care how many firebombs they throw into Trump headquarters. I don't care how many beatings they administer at Trump rallies. I don't care how many cars they vandalize at Trump rallies. They're probably still not going to be able to suppress the turnout of working people who pay taxes and are American citizens enough to win all those seats. 1-844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
There's only one Howie Carr.